let's start getting revved up and ready for 2018. I mean, who's already ready for 2018?
Woo!
Yeah.
Who's ready for like the rest of November though? The rest of November, you got December, right? Sometimes we start getting into Wealth Bowl mode and we already start thinking about our goals, right? How many of you guys already have your 2018 business plan though? By show of hands. You should already have your 2018 business plan typed up. I know at SMDs we have to have it turned in already, right? At a Wealth Bowl, and you know, just a couple of things that should be on your business plan since you're taking notes is one is your business goals, right? So what should be some things on your business goals you should have written down?
Direct money.
Personal direct.
Right? So personal recruits, right? Your personal recruits. It always seems like only the black one you can really see. The rest are kind of like, never seen the word. So your personal recruits, right? Your personal points, right? Your team recruits, because it's not just you recruiting people, but you want to start building a team that now starts recruiting people, right?
Yes.
If I bring in Janice and Byron, then now they bring in, you know, Gianni and Amanda. Now Gianni and Amanda start building their team, and then that team starts recruiting a team, right? So you got to have a goal for your personal recruits, then your personal production, then your team recruits, and then what?
Team production.
Team production, obviously, right? So your team points, team production, then what? Cash flow,
Cash flow.
right? How much money are you going to make? And so this stuff needs to be done every month, but you should for sure have, you know, go into the new year with 2018 planned for the whole year. But look at December, right? So if we're 2 days away, you got to start doing this every single month. Every single month just to stay focused. You know, maybe it's, you know, for part-time people, it should be like 2,000 and 5,000. If you're full-time, it should be 4,000 and 10,000 a month minimum or more, right? Part-time, full-time, right?
Yes.
And then cash flow, same thing. You know, how much money are you going to make next year? Think about that.
150 grand.
Okay, so Matt's calling it out, 150 grand.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. It's a good little chunk of change, especially coming from Costco where he made 30 grand a year. Right? Start thinking about that. You know, 150 grand can change your life.
Yeah.
And then there's levels to that. You know, if I was only making 150 grand, I'd be broke. I'd need to phone a friend. I'd be on a bridge somewhere. No, but you know, you just think about it like that, right? At what level are you comfortable, and then how big is your vision too?
True.
So you want to set big goals, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And then there's, you know, so once you achieve one milestone, then there's always another one. And that's the beauty of WFG is that there's no stop to it. You never really get comfortable unless you just kind of get content. You know, you get to, most people get content at about $250,000 to $500,000 a year. And some get comfortable at 100 grand, some get comfortable all the way up to $1 million. You know? I heard a leader say, hey, everyone in your team is going to quit. Like, it's just a matter of how long they're in the game before they do. Some people are going to quit when they fail their test. Some people are going to quit when their best guy quits. Some people are going to quit, you know, when they hit SMD and then they stop writing business and they quit. Some people are going to quit at 100 grand. Some people are going to quit at, you know, some are going to quit at $250,000. Some are going to quit at $5 million. There's CEOs that have quit. Just, you know, it doesn't mean they quit and they give up all what they've built, but they just kind of mentally quit. They stop running BPM and they just kind of coast on their income. Nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, aren't we being sold? Isn't the WFG dream to get to a certain income and then be able to enjoy other things in life?
Yeah.
Right? You know, you get to a CEO position, and you start to, you know, coach your son in baseball on Saturdays instead of BPM potentially. You know, I mean, things like that. You know, and that's what WFG provides. It provides you, you know, unlimited income potential, but also the lifestyle, and you know, you can kind of pick and choose the things that are important to you, and you know, live out the life that you really want. Think about it. I mean, how many years at a job where you're not in control of? where you don't really have a say in how things go. The best part of the business is you gotta get this thing going fast, so you can just be in control of your day. Think about it right now, are you in 100% control of your day?
No. Right, yeah. Not
It's
yet.
pretty awesome. Now, some people mistaken that though, because they get into business and they go, I'm in 100% control of my day. But you're not where you want to be, so then you kick your feet up and you're like, hey, I'm a business owner. Like, no, you better set a schedule, you better set a discipline, because there are business owners that get up early,
Yeah.
right? You read any biography on like billionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires. Guess what time they get up?
3 in the morning.
4 a.m. is the average. 4 a.m.
I don't believe in sleep.
And they break down their schedules like every 15 minutes. Like you'd be blown away what they can get done in a day, what most people don't get done in a month. It's crazy. Literally like 4 to 4:15 shower, 4:15 breakfast to 4:30, 4:30 to like they map out the whole thing. By 5 o'clock, they're in their office, like they're 5:30 in the morning, they're in their office making blasting calls. I mean, seriously, I mean it's insane. You're like they've already made it. Yeah, but there's levels to it, and it becomes so routine that's what they're used to doing that's just second nature. How many financially independent people do you know that still work? Right? People go, oh well, if this is so good, then why are you still doing it? Oh, you're a CEO, why are you still doing it? Because I'm not comfortable where I'm at. And you get in a routine of doing it, then it's not even work anymore. You just do it, and then now I go, shoot, if I put another 3 years in, I'll be over $1 million, blah, 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 right?
That's right.
But you gotta have some, right? So you gotta have a plan. So you have your business goals. What else should be on here
Savings.
when it comes to the year? No, just business goals. We're still talking business goals.
Licensing.
What else should be on here? Okay, licenses. Okay, licenses. Absolutely. A good goal to set is 100 licenses in your base shop. You do that, you're financially set. 100 licenses. You're like, man, I'm just trying to get one. Well, yeah, you get one, you get two. Shoot, you get 1 to 2, you doubled. 0 to 1 is 100% increase. 1 to 2, you doubled your business. 2 to 4, you double it. So you just look in small chunks, small bites. Next thing you know, you'll have 13 license agents. And then if those 13 each get 1, you already double, you're at 26, you're a quarter of the way there. I mean, you're literally like, you can get to 26 license agents in the next 3 months. Seriously. This thing can really happen if you focus and put a goal on, on some of these things. What else?
Field trainers.
I like doing size of team at events. So right now, we have Walpole. Start measuring up how many people you got going on your team. But think about, for 2018 business plan, how many people are you going to take to convention? What's the size of your team at convention? I normally never drink stuff like this, you guys. I just apologize in advance.
Unleashing the monster.
It's
Is it
time now,
organic
it's
when
time
fired
for
up?
these.
I just, anyway. All right, so what else? I'm trying to think of what, I just redid my 2018 plan.
Probably about less.
Money save, so
That's
financial
licenses.
stuff. So we have licenses, size of team, savings. So money saved. What's your savings goal for 2018? Or financial goal? Maybe you got to pay off some debt and save money. Whatever it is, right? Shoot, for a lot of you, when are you coming full time? When are you coming full time? When are you going to take on an office and get serious about your business? You got to set a goal for that. When are you coming full time? When is WG going to be your primary source of income?
For the next promotion.
Right? Absolutely. Money saved, next promotion, absolutely. So you got income goals, next promotion, yeah. I have my, goals for EVC. I got how many SMDs I'm gonna promote.
How many
I got how many,
ringers?
I got, new ring earners. So if you're in the base, you're trying to just, okay, hey, I'm gonna get my watch, I'm gonna get my watch by this date, I'm gonna get my ring by this date. But every single one of you guys should be planning on getting your watch and your ring in 2018,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
See, what happens is people start thinking, yeah, but 100 grand is 8 grand a month, so if I don't make 8 grand in January, then there's no way I'll hit it. It doesn't work that way. Because you'll have a month where you make 23 grand. And then just, and the next thing you know, and the second advances and a big annuity or whatever it is, or you got 2 or 3 teammates and now you're getting overrides, and then that starts, stacking up. Next thing you know, you're at your watch, in May or June, and then you're like, shoot, if I could do that, now I'm at a higher contract. If I do what I just did the first 6 months, and the next 6 months on a higher contract, I go and hit SMD, I go and get the ring, I'm sitting good, right? So you're gonna start setting this stuff up. You're gonna start mapping this thing out. So yeah, all these kinds of things are important. But what I want to ask you is I want to talk to you about influence right now. Who are you influenced by? Right? What are your associations right now? Who are your associations right now? Who do you talk to on a daily basis? Think about that for a second. Who do you associate with right now? Who do you talk to on a daily basis?
You.
Think about that though. Who do you talk to on a daily basis? I hear it all, you guys have heard me say it all the time. Hey, call me, check in, right? Let me know your accountability. I'm not just gonna say, okay, hey, thanks. I'm gonna talk to you about it. Anthony's been sending me his stuff every single week. He comes and works out with me on Sundays. This dude's gonna turn his business around in 2018. Watch. Guaranteed.
Every Monday he's
Guaranteed.
here for
You
phone
can't. He's here. He's here for phone zones. He's here. And it's just one little tweak, couple little tweaks, boom. But who are you talking to? So who influences you? What associations do you have? And then are you influencing other people? How are you influencing others? You start thinking about these things, right? Arthur does these cool videos on Facebook. Those are awesome, dude. I don't know if you guys follow, if you guys are friends with Arthur on Facebook, but he gets in his car. I don't know how he does it. I don't know if he's driving or if he does it while he's parked or what he does. I don't know how he looks at the camera and turns the wheel and everything.
A little thing on his dash.
I don't know how he does it, but he does it, and he's always got something.
Skilled.
How many of you guys have heard or have seen his videos? Okay, a couple people. So, they say, hey, who's influencing you, right? Who's influencing you? Who are you talking to on a daily basis? So do you guys follow Ed Milet on all his social media channels?
Yes.
You subscribe to his YouTube channel?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Subscribe to his YouTube?
Yes.
You on his podcast, iTunes?
Yeah.
You on his Instagram?
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta see that. Like,
Are you on his My Letter?
Yep.
Yes.
You get the email every week,
shut it.
right? My Letter,
Yeah.
whatever it came up with, all right?
Genius.
It is what it is, right?
Genius.
And so,
Yeah.
you guys saw today he was interviewing, Tim Grover, which is one of my favorite books right now is Relentless, going from good to great to unstoppable. This guy trained Michael Jordan, trained Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. He works with other athletes right now. He's working with Jameis Winston or whatever. I think he does he's working out with him from Tampa Bay quarterback. He's working with a couple other people. But his mindset is just ridiculous. And so Ed was live for a short little bit and he cut it off.
Like 5 minutes.
5 minutes he was live on Instagram. It was like, boom, he's on, and then, whoop, it got cut. So there's content there, and they'll be sending stuff. So probably whoever was recording it probably accidentally hit live or something, and all of a sudden they were live. But there's going to be some good content on that. And some of you guys that follow him, you know, he made a list of all the people that he's gonna be interviewing and doing things. And so if you're talking to these people, I mean, think about it, who's influencing you? That comes down to your personal development, doesn't it?
Yes.
You know? And then so a good part of your personal development is your association and what you allow into your head on a daily basis. Think about it, if you're around people that are nagging, complaining, victim, oh, I can't believe that this happened, or oh, I can't believe just my luck, and blah, blah, and you're around that type of environment, that kind of mindset, that's hard. It's gonna be hard for you to build a WG business with that. You know, so you gotta start thinking about that. And then now, who are you influencing? Because think about it, people are watching you too. People are watching you, right? People are watching you. Whether it's your kids, whether it's siblings, friends, previous coworkers. You know, shoot, just the last couple of days I've been planning, like, man, you know, we have a breakout meeting right on Saturday at World Bowl. That had to be, you know, planned. I got a talk on Wednesday at our evaluation meeting, right? So I had to prepare a 15-minute thing on that. Then Friday, I'm speaking for 15 minutes on the big stage right before Ed. And then Saturday we have the breakout, and then I'm closing out that meeting. You know, but so I'm constantly seeking out information, constantly seeking mentorship. You know, talking to Guillermo all the time, reaching out to Ed Milet. You know, we're planning a trip right now to Monty's. You know, we're finalizing we already have dates finalized.
We have the date finalized.
It's in August. We're gonna go to Monty's Ranch, Monty Holmes Ranch. That's in Utah. He's got a freaking community. So you talk about what you really want to do in your life. Like, imagine just building a city.
That'd be awesome.
Seriously. That's what he did. He just bought this big old plot of land. He literally like has like a water, like a
Lake.
water source
Yeah.
from the mountain, a spring that comes down to supplies all the water for his community. It's a huge property. He's got a community center. He's got a thing where he can do weddings, like a whole banquet room. He's got a man-made lake with how many cabins around? It's like
20.
Is it
Well,
20?
these two guys, you know, both went
Just
with us. You know, that was,
yeah.
I mean, how awesome was that? So we're gonna do that, just our squad.
Oh,
Damn.
Freaking incredible. And Monty's like one of the best. He's one of those guys where he's like a teddy bear, but you could tell like he could turn it on too. Like he could be like that, like
In your
like
face.
tough grandpa, you know, kind of like the kind of like, hey dude, you know, kind of put you in a headlock, you know, give you a hug, but then throw you in a headlock too at the same time. You could tell he was intense back in his day. But you know, these guys are, you know, overrides the whole country of Canada pretty much. He was one of the founders, and one of the founders of the company. Just been in the game longer, that's all. Nothing that, you know, we can't go do. You know, we just barely went into Puerto Rico a couple of years ago, and now there's like CEOs in there. There's people overriding like hundreds of thousands of dollars just in a brand new area. There's still states we're not in, you guys, we could get into. You know, it's like, I mean, it sounds crazy, but who's building it in Alaska? You know, well,
Yeah.
you know, you don't necessarily need to go there, but what if you knew someone that would want to go there, or a family there, and now you override a whole state?
Wow.
Think about it. Someone gets recruited into WFG in Southern California, they're pretty much on Swan's team or Ed Milet's team, because they're the two biggest guys, and then so now they got people everywhere. So someone gets recruited, then underneath. But if there's no one in a state, and you pioneer that state, and you start building in that state's yours. Anything that grows out of that thing. And now guess what? You know what happens when you pioneer a new area? Anyone that has contacts in that area, guess what they do?
I call you.
Just map them to you. They call you, and now these people on your team know how your Reeve got so big so fast. He went into San Diego, and no one's out in San Diego. Everyone started sending him maps. This dude mapped his way up to 150, 200 grand a year. Because he's in an area. Yeah, he's got Kansas too. He's getting maps from Kansas. No one else is in Kansas. He got an SMD, which is family of
No, it's a
family
best
friend of Margot.
Margot's
Yeah,
best
so
friend.
Margot's best friend.
Yeah.
And they pioneered Kansas, and now anyone in Kansas gets recruited, it's on their team. How freaking awesome is that? So now they're running San Diego. Now they got Kansas. I mean, think about that, and Reeves got about $250,000. So think, I mean, you take over a whole city, a whole state, a whole county, whatever it is, you know, and you're rolling.
What was
You
his
start
first
rolling
year?
this thing. So you got to build it. We got to start thinking about building this thing right here. It's your personal recruits and your team recruits, right? But think about it. It's all mentality, you guys. Everything's in your head. Everything's in your head, right? All your deepest fears and things you're afraid of or you're not willing to do, it's all in your head. You got to ask yourself, what would Ed Milet do in any given situation, or what would Guillermo do? How would Monty Home, respond to this? It was funny. Someone goes, "Well, hey, I don't know what to do," and it's like, well, instead of telling someone what to do, you ask them, "Well, hey, if I didn't have the answer, what would you do without me?" Because you'd be surprised. Your brain, there's untapped potential in there, right? We always seeking answers from other people, but guess what? There's called instinct, right? And Tim Grover talks about it in the book Relentless. He goes, don't think. He goes, don't think, just do.
Yep.
Just do it, because your natural instinct will right? I think it's Tony Robbins was interviewing Oprah, and she goes, some of the best decisions I've ever made was ones that I made with my gut instinct. This is Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential women in the world, and one of the wealthiest women in the world too, right? And she goes, the best decisions I've ever made in my life are ones I made from my gut, just instinctively. Boom, called a shot. She goes, and on the flip side, some of the worst decisions I've ever made is seeking the opinion of other people. What should I do? Asking other people. And then she listened to what they said, did that, and then she said those are some of the worst things she's ever done. Is taking advice from what other people thought. Best advice was listening to her own instinct. Right? But how important is influence? Well, if you're lazy, then yeah, you need someone to kind of go, look, dude, lazy people don't get things done. Lazy people aren't, wealthy business owners. And so you need that. So let me ask you a question. Who are you accountable to? Who are you accountable to? Because accountability is a choice, right?
Yes.
So most of you aren't accountable to anyone. Let's just be real. You should be accountable. Most of you guys should be accountable to me, the same way I'm accountable to G. But guess what? I'm not gonna bug you. I'm not gonna track you down and go, hey, where are you at? But I probably need to. But you got to submit to accountability. Let's just be real. You have to submit to accountability, because if you can't take accountability, then what else you got? You'll just dog it. You'll dog it, and then days will go by, and weeks will go by, and months will go by, and you aren't where you're supposed to be. Right? We're letting too much time go by where you're not yet where you need to be, or even on track on where you want to go. Right? If we're here to build a business, build a team, and for you to become financially independent, how much further along are you than when you started? Straight up question. Right now. From the time you started to where you're at right now, how far ahead? If this was a race, and this was 26 miles, from the day you first start, let's say it's a marathon, from the day you first started, right, gunshot, boom, you started running. From the day you started, right, that was your AMA days, boom. And then now, fast forward to today, how far along are you in the race? The marathon is everything you hoped and dreamed that this business could deliver for you on. How far along are you? Now, don't feel bad, because here's the thing. I ain't nowhere near where I thought I'd be either. But I know I'm a lot further, right, than where I started. So there's a thing called, there's you, right here, and there's you right here where you want to be. So this is the kind of this is the current you, or let's even call it the old you. And this is the new you. This is where you want to be. The difference is this gap. Right here, right? You guys with me?
Yes.
That's the Lexus commercial, that Steph chasing his old, him is chasing his new you in that commercial. So that you-
So what we want to do is close this gap. Where you are, where you want to be, we got to close that. There's certain things we got to do. There's certain things we got to do. Things that we know we need to do, but we have to be consistent and do it over and over again until you break through. Everyone in here, there's a breakthrough coming. You don't know it yet. As a matter of fact, some of you haven't even been to the breaking point yet to even know that there is another level. You're almost just kind of going through motions, and you're doing a little bit here and a little bit there, and it's not enough. You guys have heard me talk about the rocket ship example, right? I was just hearing it in the car on the way here. You know, Brett Burks. You know, a guy that I listened to, Brett Burks. He's got great. This guy built a 300, 300 person base shop, right? Running a base shop like a hierarchy. This dude would be gone traveling for a month at a time, and base shop would do 200 recruits, 400,000 points base shop. Dude's got 30, 40 full-timers in his office during the day, daytime environment, cranking 9 a.m. and making calls. You know who's here at 9 a.m. in the morning making calls? Matt Chang. Matt Chang, me and Dez are really the only ones here. So now, I get it. You have a job, you have other things. Thomas has been coming in. Thomas is in here, trying to make some noise, get some things going. He's got a guest here. But he's been in here blasting calls. Right? And so, there's things that you could do that you haven't been willing to do that is holding you back from getting to where you want to go. Now, if you got a job, great. But do you like that job?
No.
Do you want to get out of that job?
Yes.
So then, how aggressive are you on the time you're not in your job, that you're working this to get closer to getting out? Right? It's like this is the old you at your dead end job, let's say, and this is the new you in WFG. Well, the gap is what do you got to do to get full time? Right? What things you got to get good at? What habits and disciplines do you need to develop to be able to run a successful WFG business on a full-time basis? Ask yourself, how much productive time do you have in a day outside of your job? And how much of that time are you really using to your advantage? I get it. Not everyone can go work 12, 15 hours, work a job and then boom, another 10, 15 hours in WFG. But, when I was part-time, I only put in about 12, 15 hours a week on top of my job. I was a branch manager at ADT. I put in about 12, 15 hours on top of that. Never missed a BPM. Came to full-timers meetings, right? Was in the office. I prospected where my office was. So I lived in Corona. My office was in Pomona with Guillermo, right? And I went to Pomona and prospected every morning. I prospected in the morning. I didn't need to be at my office as a branch, but I didn't need to be at my office till 1 o'clock. I'd get up, I'd get going, I'd get a few hours in, go back, and I'd get off, do appointments, weekends, same thing. Went psycho with this business, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm actually telling my story at Wolfpool. I only have 15 minutes to tell an hour and a half long story, but we're gonna make it work. But there's a certain amount of sacrifice you got to make to get to where you want to go, but it's temporary. That's the thing, is people think of the things that you got to do right now, like, oh, it's always going to be like that. Shit, I got to get it. Was so far out of my comfort zone. You don't even have any idea. With very little hope, where people just said, dude, I don't even know why you're even doing this. You're not going to be able to even do it. People told me, right? I first started, I wasn't going to be able to get licensed. I didn't listen to other people. You know what I listened to? My associations, my mentors. The people that were where I wanted to be. All the people that weren't where I wanted to be had all kinds of advice to give. But you be careful who you listen to, right? And sometimes the little voice in your head really isn't you. That's your mental programming from all the years that you've been around middle class people, right? All the thoughts of, man, so I don't like recruiting, or recruiting's weird, or I feel like I'm bothering people, and just the littlest things. You'd be surprised. All that stuff is not serving you. It's not serving you. Everyone is going to experience a breakthrough at some point in your business. You know what? There's men and women in WFG that are mega successful, that were at the same spot as you, with the same amount of time frame. You feel like you haven't been able to get it going, or whatever the case may be. You know, I'm not good in the field, or I'm not good prospector, or I'm having trouble bringing guests, or you know, I'm struggling financially. It's hard for me to get to the event. Or everyone in the company that's big has all gone through what you've gone through, or are currently going through right now. All been there. All been there. You know, Guillermo was a personal producer for how many years?
5 years.
For 5 years. So you could go, oh yeah, okay, well then, yeah, all right, then I don't have to recruit. No, we want you thinking, shoot, in 5 years you could be a WFG CEO.
13 years ago, he had one FMB.
We hit the numbers for CEO in 2008. 2008 we hit the numbers for CEO, but you needed to be securities licensed. Well, WFG and the SEC wouldn't give me my securities license until 2011. So 2008 we hit the numbers for CEO. Couldn't be CEO though. Right?
Yeah.
2009, you know, went through a little, some personal challenges, had some, moved, had some people, quit, different things, business dropped. Actually, it was around the time you became my client. Well, that was like a year after that you came back and became a client. But the main thing I'm telling you this is that, you're gonna have stages of your business. I want you thinking right now that you're right around the corner from a breakthrough. This got to be, you got to have a breakthrough stage. You got to develop a whole new kind of mental toughness and a whole new comfort zone that you have to get out of. Right? Because right now your comfort zone's like this, and this is you inside of it. So you're sitting good. You're like, shoot, I could spread my legs out, my arms, I'm good. We want to get your comfort zone like this. We want to get your comfort zone like this, to where you're like, shoot, man, I got to get out of this thing because I'm like confined. Right? If your comfort zone's too big, you're not going to grow. Right? So, anyway, I wanted to go over some of that, and let me ask you a question. What book are you reading right now? Hold my notes real quick. What book are you currently reading right now? Write it down. What book are you currently reading right now? I just Matt gave me a book the other day, or like a couple weeks ago, a little Leadership 101. And I just put it in the back of my trunk or whatever, and then started picking it up, started reading it out loud. And just simplest things. It's Leadership 101, it's a little pocket book or whatever. But John Maxwell. I listen to Relentless. I listen to Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. I listen to Brett Burks. I listen to Tom Hopkins. I listen to Ed Milet, Unlocking the Success Code, and also the How to Build a Big Base Shop, and the BFS Boot Camp, discs 1 through 4. Art Williams, Power of Believing in You. I have everything, constantly going, but you do need to have a physical book that you're reading too, just to keep keep in tune with things. I think that that's huge. It's kind of like who's influencing you. Books should be too. They say the best way to change, because let's think about it right now. Did you get into WFG to stay where you're currently at right now?
No.
No. So you have to develop a whole new you, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You have to change a whole new you. So that doesn't happen overnight. You guys realize that, right? Like, this is a process.
Yeah.
This is a process. But you have to start seeing progress. Anytime there's a process, they say trust the process, right? You have to trust the process. Like when we went to Alabama, we went to Alabama game. They called their system with Nick Saban. He's won 5 or 6 NCAA championships in football. I mean, it's incredible what this guy's done and what that school has done. Went out there, and his coaching system is called the process, and they say trust the process. There's another guy that's a basketball player that called the process, and they say 76ers, they say trust the process. So anyway, but you have to trust the process. But if you stick with the process, in this case, it's like the system. Right? You got to trust the system. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You got to trust the system. So let's talk about the system for a second. And you have to buy into it, and you have to trust it, and then you have to run it. Okay? So they say there's 3 phases. So you got to know it. You got to know the system. Right? Know, trust, and then called do or act. Right? So you gotta know what the system is. You gotta trust you gotta know the process, trust the process, and then actually execute or act on it, act it out. Okay? So there's a series of processes in our business. There's a series of systems. The first main ones are our exchange principles. Our exchange principles, right? What are our exchange principles? You guys know what the exchange principles are?
Yes.
By the way, these principles make our system work, and if you don't do this, if you don't follow the exchange principles, then the system breaks down. Did you guys know that?
Yes.
Who didn't know that? Who didn't know there's exchange principles, and if you follow them, the business works. If you don't, you'll struggle with the business forever. Does everyone know that that's true?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go over that. Let's go over this real quick. This is in the BFS. What's the first exchange principle?
Personal sales exchange.
Personal sale. So understand the power of this. Okay? Understand the power of this. The personal sale exchange. What does this say? This says that when you recruit someone, they become a client, right?
Yes.
So you give up your personal sale to who?
Your upline.
To your trainer. Right? So trainee does business with the trainer. Okay? Now the trainee eventually becomes the trainer, right? And now everyone that they recruit now does what? Does their personal sale with them. So how many sales are you going to do with your upline? One, or however many products you end up getting. Matt's got, Term LB, different things, whatever, active money management. He comes to me. I'm his trainer. Okay? And now Matt's been in the business how long?
Be 8 years in April.
8 years. So he gave up one sale, or how many sales have you actually done with me? How many products do you own?
Term LB, GIUL, IUL with Pac Life, VUL, and my wife owns an IUL, and we can control over the rest of her money.
Yeah, anyway. So multiple products. Let's just say when someone starts, they do one. They do a policy, whatever it is, Term LB, IUL, rollover, combination of both, whatever it is. It's like 1 to 2 sales per client, okay? He did that one time. Now, over the last 8 years, how many clients do you think you've actually helped?
Upwards of almost 300,
300? How many of those came from new recruits?
at least half.
Okay? So he gave up 1 to 2 sales to now everyone he's recruited or anyone on his team recruited that he's the trainer on, let's say 150 sales. Does it make sense to give up 1 to 2 to get 150 back in return?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a system. So guess what happens if you don't follow this? Let's say there's a breakdown here in the personal sale. So someone comes in, they go, hey, wait, I want to get licensed and do my own sale. Well, all right, that's not the system, but if you do that, here's what's going to happen. So now I do that. So I go, hey, Guillermo, no, I'm going to get licensed and do my own sale. Well, what's the first thing that can happen? One is I never get licensed, and then I never become a client, and I quit. Now my family's not protected because I was selfish because I wanted my own sale. I wanted commission one time. But let's just say I get licensed, I write up my own sale, and now I recruit Thomas. Thomas comes in. Thomas is going to say what? I'm going to say, hey, we got to do your financial strategy.
No, I want to
I wanna do
go.
mine.
Well, I want to get licensed and do my own sale. I'm full-time now. I'm a trainer. I got to make money. I'm building a team. They told me to build a team. This is the system. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't do the system. So now no one on my team's going to do this. I can't hold the standard. Now Thomas wants to wait to get licensed to do his own sale. It's one time. You know who does this stuff? Other companies. New York Life, Prudential, all that stuff. But here's the thing. That's why, as soon as they write their own sale, now they gotta really go they gotta go fish for clients. Because they're not building a team. See, the power in this is that when you build a team, you have an endless number of clients to go see. Because everyone that I hire on, I do their financial strategy for the rest of my life. So Guillermo did mine, right? And then when I got licensed, everyone that I do for the last 13 years, I write up their sale. Forever. A pretty good trade-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the personal sale. What goes after that?
Field training.
So now you have the field trainer exchange. Number 2 is the field training exchange. So now what happens here? What happens here, you guys?
10.
That's 10 KTPs.
So check this out. The field training exchange says this. You go on 10 appointments with your trainer. And on those 10 appointments, you're going to get what? Experience and exposure. Right? So you know how to close. You know how to present in a duplicatable manner. People that see you as, let's say in Arthur's case, Arthur's 27 years Marine? 27 years Marine Corps. So imagine he gets out of the Marine Corps and he sits down with a friend and is like, hey, I'm going to show you how to retire early and pay less in taxes, dude. What is his friend's going to tell him?
What do you know about?
What do you know about money, man? You're a master sergeant in the Marine Corps. Now all of a sudden you're a financial expert overnight? So what does Arthur do? He goes out on 10 appointments. Arthur, did we go do 10 appointments? Damn right. I field train Arthur on 10 appointments. Hey, did we close business? What do we do after we close? No, I'm just no, we go down to San Diego and close business. So Arthur learned from me the invaluable experience of how to do 10 appointments. So now check this out. The first 2 people. So now Arthur's licensed. He's a trainer. He's seen me do 10 appointments. We helped clients. Right? Put them in a better spot because they're probably not going to listen to you anyways. You get out of the way of your warm market, but get experience, exposure, referrals, knowledge, confidence, everything in that process, right? Know this stuff, trust it. This is part of the trust. Is you got to do that. You got to see the value in this. So now check this out. Arthur's first 3 recruits that he gets, and they go do 10 appointments. How many is that? 30. Does it make you do 3 recruits in 30 days? So what he did one time in his whole career Right? He did 10 appointments with a trainer one time at the beginning of his career, and his first month license, if he recruits 3 people and they each do their 10, he's out on 30 appointments. That's just his first 3. Well, what happens when he recruits 3,000 people over a 10-year career? How many appointments is that? 30,000 appointments? Does it make sense to do 10 appointments to go run 30,000 appointments over a 10-year career?
Yes.
Does this make sense, you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the method behind right? This is the magic behind our system. It's incredible, right? It's incredible. If you don't do this, again, it breaks down. Well, I don't want to go see anyone until I'm licensed. Okay, now you're licensed. All right, go figure it out. Well, I don't know what to do. Well, that's why we're supposed to do 10 appointments while you're getting licensed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Arthur in the military, right? Or you were in the military, right? Did people join the Marine Corps because they wanted to go kill some people? They wanted to go fight in the war and, quote unquote, kill people? Kind of in a sense, right? Did they have to go through boot camp, or did you just toss an AK-47 in their hand and throw them out there in out on the front line? Hey, you want to do it? Here you go. Here, do it. Figure it out. You got to go through boot camp, right? They got to learn how to properly handle a firearm. Weapons training, safety training, how to aim, how to load it, all that stuff. It's the same process. So it's like, you got to trust the process. You got to act on this process. You got to go through 10 appointments, see it by a trainer, trust that process, and then when you're licensed, you're now the expert. So if I'm training Eddie, which I did appointments with Eddie too, and then he got licensed, he knew what he was doing. This dude went out after doing his appointments. He went out and wrote 72,000 points on his own his first month, and made 11 grand. First month licensed, right? Did we do some appointments? Shoot, we did appointments in Spanish. Remember, we translated. And it was Spanish appointment. We're in the back of a hair salon in Anaheim.
OG, man.
Right?
OG.
We're on this little table right here and busted it out. I'm doing the presentation. Then he translated, and we closed business. We closed business, right? So he saw me do the appointments, and then he went out in his first month license. So was there a process before you went out? You didn't go out without any experience and go write 72,000, right?
Nope.
He's learned a duplicatable format presentation that takes not a lot of time. It doesn't take that lot of time, right? It takes a couple weeks maybe to learn it. So you got to sacrifice that. Like, if you got a job at In-N-Out, they don't just throw you in the assembly line on the grill. They actually send you to the In-N-Out Burger, I think
It's in Baldwin Park.
right there in Baldwin Park, right next to West Covina right there, right? They send you right there to Baldwin Park, and it's like In-N-Out University. And they literally put you through a school where they teach you how to run the assembly line and how to actually build an In-N-Out burger before you ever get paid, before you ever actually clock in and actually are on payroll. You have to learn how to do it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you learn how to do this, and now when you go out, right? In Eddie's example, we did appointments, and he went out on his own, wrote 72,000 points, made 11 grand. Follow that up the next month with second advances and new business, another 14 grand. His first 2 months license, 24-year-old dude made 25 grand his first 2 months licensed. But the first month, while he was getting licensed, he was getting trained. System, right? Does this make sense?
Yes.
So everyone's got to run this system to perfection, right? We called this, we had a thing that we did last week, right? 117, right?
Yeah.
Remember this system key?
Yeah.
So this is every new recruit becomes a client. This is you becoming a client. Right? So someone starts off brand new, they do their AMA. Boom. You got to become a client. And then the other one is you got to get a new recruit under you. You got to get a new recruit. And then guess what happens here? That new recruit now, back to the system. Becomes a client, got to get a new recruit. Back to the system. That new recruit becomes a client, got to get another new recruit. And then now, after the 1-1, they start going on the 10 appointments, right? Getting licensed, learning this field presentation. We start building this thing. I want we are gonna go into 2018, every single one of you guys knowing how to recruit someone and know how to write business. Tell you right now. Every single one of you. And then we're gonna expect you guys to actually do it. Like actually do it. Like get new recruits on the board, write business every single week and every single month like a business person. Like a real business owner. Not just, hey, I'm gonna do it, but then not really do it, and sounds good, oh, I tried, but not, you know what I mean? Like, have you ever heard Tim Grover on that book, Relentless? He's just right, he's like, try. He's all, try. He's like, try is an excuse for you, he goes, you either do it or you don't. He goes, try is a cop-out. I tried. But no. Did you do it or you not? Because it's almost try is like an excuse, isn't it?
So
Yes.
you didn't want
I
to
tried.
do it. Like, yeah.
So you didn't do it. Basically, just tell me you didn't do it. You know what I mean? That's pretty as blunt as it gets. I mean, that's accountability right there. That's results driven. Like you're gonna get to the next level being around a guy like that, listening to words like that. You're gonna get to the next level. Because we buy too much times we buy our own BS. Think about that. Do you know your numbers right now? Let me ask every single one of you. Do you know your numbers right now?
Yeah.
And there's more exchange principles. What's the third one? Let's just go through these and then we're going to talk about numbers.
Promotion qualification.
What's the next one?
Promotion.
Promotion.
Promotion qualification.
Okay, promotion qualification. Yeah. So what the promotion exchange is that you got to work your way up the ranks just like everybody else. I had a guy come in. He goes, "Oh, you know this and that, the people I know and all that, blah 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 blah. You know, why am I going to start a training associate? Because I know all these people, got all this experience. I've done sales, blah blah blah, da da." Selling himself. I go, man, you know what? That's awesome. Go check this out though. If you're as good as you say you are, our promotion guidelines are so easy that if you do if you actually can do what you say you can do, you'll have no problem going from training associate up to MD in your first 30, 60 days, dude. And then you carry that with you the rest of your career. Because again, it's a giver's game. Someone comes in going, I want an MD contract. You know, I'm used to making $100,000 a year. I can't start at 30%. I need to at least start at 62, or I want to come in as an SMD. If you're really that good, then it shouldn't take you that long to get there. Prove it. Right? Prove it. And then you carry that with you the rest of your career, because what's going to happen, you start off at a higher contract. Someone else comes in and goes, oh, I want a higher contract. Well, shoot, you start someone at a higher contract, that you're not getting a spread. You guys understand that there's a spread called override, right?
Yep.
You know, when someone starts, there's called a spread. So you got 30, 45, 55, 62, and 80. So when you're an SMD and you got a training associate at 30%, you recruit that training associate, there's a 50% override right there on every sale that's written. Now here's the thing, before they're even licensed though, they should be hitting 45% because they should be doing 330 to get to associate. So you never really, I mean, I very rarely override someone 50%. Very rarely. Very rarely. I mean, even you guys, when you guys kind of hit 330, you know, a few months after you guys started, and you guys wrote some apps at 30%, but not a lot. You guys weren't writing that much business. And if you were really writing that much business, then you would have hit associate on the points anyways. But, so I overrode maybe a couple apps, but typically I don't override 50%, because I'm trying to get you guys here, you know, I'm trying to get you guys to the next level, right? So you're gonna probably start overriding about 45 to 80. Does that make sense? So there's a spread, there's a process that someone goes through, and then when you get to 80, right, you go hit SMD, and then that SMD that promoted the SMD gets how much?
17.
17%, first generation. And then when this, right, so this SMD now has a base shop of their own. So when we say build a big base shop, you now have your base shop of everyone on your team that's below, SMD, it's you as the SMD, everyone below you. When you promote someone up the ranks and they hit SMD, right, now that's called second generation to this person, and now that's what, 8%?
Yeah.
And then it goes down to 5, to 3, to 2, to 1. So you have SMDs under SMDs under SMDs, and now you have stability of income. But the business that we're in is building a big base. Ask yourself a question. How many how many training associates do you have in your team? How many associates do you have? How many seniors? How many MDs? How many directs do you got? How wide are you at this meeting right now? How wide are you in your hierarchy? Right? What are you building? Right? You want to be building a business. So I want you, all right, so that's the promotion guidelines, is you start at 30 for the right? I mean, I started at training associate. I'm a CEO now, I started there. So I know exactly, so anyone that's a training associate, it's not like I can't relate to them. I know exactly where you're at. I was there before too. Matter of fact, Guillermo launched a Puerto Vallarta trip when I was a training associate, as a training associate, and I was #1 qualifier. And I had I had associate. I had one promotion during that run, but I was the #1 qualifier. It was a contest, it was a contest to go to Puerto Vallarta, where you just came back from. Went to Puerto Vallarta, a beautiful place. Went deep sea fishing and did a lot of cool stuff. I mean, it was my first ever WT trip. It was unbelievable. Everyone that's in that, and I have that picture in my office, but everyone in that picture, they were all in Guillermo's base. They all became SMDs, all the ones that qualified. So when we say qualify for everything, and you got to make every time, hey, right? I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's true. You qualify for trips, you earn promotions. That's just the way that works. You qualify for trips, you earn promotions. So it's like a good incentive. All right. So what's after promotion guideline?
Builders exchange.
Okay, builders exchange. This one's always interesting because, again, you have to think long term, you have to think big. You have to think big with builders exchange, right? Builders exchange says this. Well, wait, I'm gonna lose, right? So this SMD goes, wait, if I promote this SMD, they take with them a team that I no longer override 18, 25, 35, 50%. Right? I'm going to get 17 now, but I lose all the people underneath them. Not only do I get 17 off everything, but I lose the potential of 50% on anyone they bring in after the fact. So you're going to lose business. You really are. People go, oh no, but you still get 17 and you're only getting 18 here. Yeah, but you're still losing business because anyone that comes in new doesn't start at 30. You're getting 17 no matter where anyone starts over here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So because they do that, because we're doing that, and by the way, no other company, no other industry promotes brokers the same way we do. Think about it. If you're in real estate and you own a Century 21, are you training other agents to become brokers like you?
No,
No.
No. Why?
because you want the competition.
Because they'll become your competition. You'll lose your best agent to become a broker, and they'll go open up Century 22 across the street. And now you trained your best guy, you trained your competition. I talk to real estate brokers all the time. And they go, right, I had a guy 22 years in real estate. They go, how many agents do you have? He's a broker. He goes, oh, I'm a broker. Oh, he's all, hot shot, right? I go, how many agents do you got? 22 years in the game? I go, dude, you must have a huge organization. Because I got 6 agents. Or 16, or whatever it was. I go, 22 years? And he goes, and I said, so what's the deal? I started really digging in deep with him a little bit. Because I'm like, hey, how does that work? Because I've only been here at that time, this was many years ago. I was like 6 years in. I go, I'm 6 years in, and I got brokers under me, I got multiple agents. I go, dude, I got like 100 people. And he's like, what? I go, yeah, because we can promote brokers from within. He goes, I can't. He goes, and that's the challenge I'm having, is every time I get someone good, they want my job. They want to be the broker like me. The good ones do. Some don't want the headache, or don't want the hassle, don't want the overhead, or whatever it is. He goes, but any entrepreneur, anyone ambitious enough goes, I want the higher contract. And I want to override a team too. So he goes, I'm literally training my competition. I'm training my best guys, later become my competition, or I lose them to another company, or they start their own deal. And I go, see, that's where we're different. Because, you know, if I recruit CJ, I can get CJ just as good as me. I want to train CJ to be an SMD just like me, and then he's still within my organization.